similar. We went to med school together, and we are here to give you the down low on the annual medical education conference that is hosted by the Student National Medical Association, also known as DSNME.
There it is.
There it is. Tell me, Ron, tell us about your experiences, because I know you've been in more AMECs than I have.
Sure. Well, do you want to give like a background of what SNMA is, and then
tell us, or does it have to be me? Tell us about it.
So SNMA stands for Student National Medical Association. It is a organization that supports minorities, Black and brown people who are pursuing medicine. And I've been a part of it since undergrad. So it's been a minute for me. And I've loved I love the organization. It's helped me out in so many ways. And yeah, so we're here to talk about the conference that happens every year.
Yeah. But there's something I think that, like you said, how we gotta explain what SNMA is. SNMA is a nonprofit, a 501c3 organization. Our headquarters is based in DC. It was actually founded by two HBCU medical school chapters, the Howard chapter as well as the Meharry chapter, so in Nashville and in DC. And our 60th year anniversary AMEC is actually in 2024 in Chicago. Put it down in your calendar. The conference is Easter weekend every year. I know it's Easter. It's the cheapest weekend to have a conference, y'all. But it's about to be popping. Now, you mentioned that you were in SNMA as a pre-med. Tell us about that. How did you join SNMA as a pre-med? Because I didn't know about it back then.
Sure. So, to be honest, it was kind of hard to find at my university. So, I went to Michigan State University. Go green, go white. And one of my friends who was in my same major invited me to come. I went to one of the meetings. And I was like,
what
sure.
What was the organization called?
So, for undergrad, it's called MAPS, which stands for Minority Association of Pre-Medical Students. And so they have similar meetings like, SNMA has. My friend invited me to come, and he said, hey, it's pre-med, or you're pre-med. And I went, and I was sold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then from there, I went from being a member to actually being on the board as a president. So that was kind of a big transition.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've been a part of the organization. So I don't know how many years that is, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pre-medical students are allowed to be members of the SNMA. You would get an associate membership, which I think is important to note. So that's if you're pre-med, if you're post-bac, post-college, and in between college and medical school, you can still be a member of the organization. There is a cost to membership. I would go on the website. I don't know the cost as of right now. And then you are a full member once you get into medical school, and you can join an SNMA chapter at your medical school. So MAP chapters are in colleges across the country. SNMA chapters are in medical schools across the country and the Caribbean. Can't forget the Caribbean. And the country as a whole is broken up into 10 regions. So depending on where your college is or your med school, you're a part of a certain region. Each of those regions have a regional board. There's a national board, of which I was national president in the past, back in 2020 to 2021. Each chapter, whether it's MAPS or SNMA, they all have their own positions as well. So there's just so many areas and ways to get involved, to grow as a leader. Like, it's literally a safe space for you to learn and find your voice. Learn about the organization, learn about the programs that we have and how you can implement them locally, learn about how you can get involved regionally, learn about how you can get involved nationally. There's just like so much. That's not what we're here to talk about though, so go to the website and join the organization. But we're here to talk about the conference. My first conference was my first year of med school. So sad about it, because that means I was missing out on litness. I was missing out on networking. I was missing out on finding support for years, okay? I went to UCLA for undergrad, and that school is very interesting as far as being a pre-med. I think that if you don't get in at the right time with the right professors, hopefully it's different now. It's been a long time since I was there. but it was hard to succeed, hard to find support. And especially as a African American student, I think that it was even more difficult because I'd probably be the one by myself in class most of the time. And so coming to the conference for the first time ever in 2017, we went, it was in San Francisco. That was the first time that I walked into like a convention center. And when I tell you, it was just full of people of color, mostly Black people, okay? But the organization is for everyone that fits the mission of the organization. You care about underrepresented folks that are, whether that's coming into medicine, whether that is underrepresented communities, you want to become clinically excellent, you want to become socially competent, this is the organization for you. Now, walking in there, and seeing everybody just dressed up, looking fantastic, all pursuing the same thing. You were either pre-med, a med student, you were a resident, you were faculty. I was just like, geez, Louise, my husband might be in this room, God. You know, my besties are in this room. Like, where I was just sitting in the lobby, watching people walk by, just stunned. Like, you gotta be in it to the vibes, immaculate. So, I mean, you've gotten to go to so many. List some of the cities that you went to.
Wow. Where do I start? So, actually, my first AMEC was the 50th anniversary one.
Yo, Lituation in DC. Hey, in Chocolate City.
So,
wow.
So, same thing as us. Same experience. I walked in, didn't know what to expect. Was going with my chapter, and when I say I walked in and I saw the same picture you saw, the energy was different.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like I was at home with my people.
Yeah.
In terms of pre-med people who are pursuing the same things I'm pursuing.
Yeah.
So I've been to, I think, about 5 of them. So quite a bit.
Where?
So I went from DC to New Orleans to Atlanta.
I heard that one was lit.
That was all through undergrad, and then from there in medical school, San Francisco, and the latest one, Orlando.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you didn't go to Philly. Oh, Philly was a good time.
Yeah. It's always a good time. Honestly,
it's always a good time. It's always a good time.
So I had a gap here between undergrad and medical school, and during that time, I went to AMEC, and I was already accepted into Michigan State. So I was going just to enjoy the conference, but also network, and it was an amazing time.
Yeah,
an amazing time. So, I mean, it is so hard to put into words what AMEC is. And when people ask me, oh, like, what is it? Like, what do you do? And we can talk about that some more. But it's hard to kind of summarize it in a short sentence, and that's why we're doing this video, is because it kind of helps give you a better grasp of the conference. It's an amazing experience. Yeah.
I will say, pre-pandemic AMEC was very different. Like, there was continuity. Like, if people were coming with their med schools, like, they had 4th years that had already been, 3rd years, 2nd years that had already been. I think in the Orlando AMEC that just passed, we had 2 years. The AMEC that I was supposed to plan ended up being virtual. Very different experience, but to me, I felt like it was still special. There were still good vibes there, still ability to network and to meet people on the platforms that we were able to use. But coming back, it's like, okay, there's a lot of new blood that don't all understand the history, because this is a historied organization. We got like brilliant minds in our bloodline, okay? But just not understanding like the history of the organization, like the vibes that come with coming to AMEC, like coming to the president's luncheon, coming to the chair's banquet, what to expect, whatever. I think all of those, like, everybody would just come for the first time, and I think everybody still had a good time. But it was a very different conference as far as like programs and things. Now, just to break it down, typically there's a pre-med track, there's a 4th year and beyond track, there's a general med track, there's an exhibit hall that has exhibitors for residencies, so you can meet program directors, you can meet residents coming from all across the country. It's already sold out. It's always sold out. But coming across the country to meet you, because they need you in their program. On the reverse, you also have med schools that are sending their admissions teams, that are sending med students to come and recruit minds of the SNMA to their schools. So when I tell you this is like a networking dream, like the best. And so typically, again, SNMA is a student-run organization, which means there are med students and pre-meds that are grinding their butts off nationally, regionally, and locally to keep the organization running as a whole. So we come to this conference also to handle business. We have a House of Delegates session that meets during the conference where y'all will vote on things that are pertinent to how we run the organization, how the national board moving forward. So while you're coming there to come and get, you're also coming to give of your time, give of your mind of what direction the organization should take. You elect new leadership also at AMEC. So a lot of things go down. We work hard, we play hard. So I know you wrote a list of things that we need to review.
Yes.
I know this is going to be a longer video than we expected. Let's go through the list. What are things that we got to talk about?
Yeah, sure. So I think we should start with how the conference is set up.
Okay.
So the conference is, like we mentioned before, is during Easter weekend. It starts on the Wednesday before Easter, and then goes to the Sunday of Easter.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout each day is something different, but usually comprises of network events, workshops, recruiting fairs, and research fairs as well. So, so when you get there, you have like a check-in, and you have a bunch of people trying to register, and then from there you go and have a kind of like an itinerary of what happens each day.
Yeah.
So from there, you kind of see what you want to do. If you want to go to more, like you said, whatever your track is, you go through that track, and then you follow what workshops, what events, etc., etc. And then from there, from Thursday until about Saturday is a full 3-day conference. Thursday till Saturday is a 4-day conference.
No, you're right. 3 days.
Okay.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah.
So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then everything kind of wraps up on Sunday, and then you go home. But throughout that span of time, there's a lot of things to do, a lot of things to people to meet, and yeah, I think that's kind of the framework of what AMEC is, and we can kind of go into more details about other things, but that's kind of the scope of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Wednesday is typically a board meeting. You don't need to show up on Wednesday. You can check. Normally they post a schedule on the website. If there's anything happening, it'll be on there. But typically Wednesday's business, and then Sunday is when like the newly elected folks are now going to be brought into the board meeting as well. So typically Thursday to Saturday is like prime time.
And another thing we want to talk about is attire.
Yeah.
Everybody asks what to wear, what to bring. So you want to go over the attire for AMEC?
I mean, I think we should like share some pictures.
Yeah.
Of things to wear, but I think number one, people don't come to play. They didn't come to play. Now, I never went to an HBCU growing up, but I heard it was a fashion show. I think that this is the time where you want to look good and feel good, because you might meet people that will open the door for you, in the future. So, of course, you want to show up as if you're showing up for an interview. That is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Ladies, you don't want to be all out and exposed. You don't. So, like, typical business, casual to business attire is what I would say is the entirety of the conference. Except for the BOD banquet, we are gowned up, baby, gowned to the floors. Like, you can come in a little cocktail dress, but you might be upset that you didn't wear a floor-length gown, because my gown will be to the floor. So I think that's like basics, but we'll send some pictures. Like, guys, for sure, be in suits, tie, come with it, period. What was the next thing you got on the list?
And then any tips about pro tips, essentially. So, of course, we've been to quite a few AMECs, and so we have some do's and don'ts about what to do at the conference. So we can start with what to do. As we mentioned, you want to dress to impress. You want to make sure that you have a good presence and a good appearance to who you meet, and you want to come prepared. So that's the first thing.
What do you mean by come prepared?
So, come prepared meaning a lot of times the big thing, at least for me, as when I was an undergrad, was trying to, and even as a medical student, is to network.
Mm-hmm.
So preparing your elevator speech. So preparing your elevator speech, preparing what information you want and what information you want to give to people, because that's important to kind of be comfortable with. There's a lot of talking, a lot of meeting people, a lot of shaking hands, and you want to make sure you are able to be comfortable meeting the people because that's what it's all about. You network. So that's probably the second thing, is to kind of have that rehearsed a little bit, just to kind of make sure that you're comfortable doing that.
Yeah. So I would say, like, practically speaking, my first AMEC, I had no clue what I was walking into. And so once I saw what the exhibit hall was like, I'm introvert. I'm like literally 60-40. It swings either way. So I realized when I got to the exhibit hall, like, I immediately felt anxiety just seeing, they cut the ribbon, doors open, you like, oh my gosh. And so I had to first like just take a lap and like kind of feel the energy in the room. That's what I had to do. And then I just went back outside and I was like, okay, 3 things you're gonna say every time. What are the 3 things you're gonna say? Oh, my name is Asase Obo. I'm a first year at Michigan State University College of Human Medicine. And as of right now, I don't really know what I'm interested in. I think it's emergency medicine. What are the things that you love about your program? I think that's kind of what I would just like. That's what I'm gonna say. I wrote it in my notes, and then I went in there. And other thing I knew was like, where are the key places that I'm looking into? Because I already knew I was going where I had friends and family. I wasn't going any boony nowhere. So I prioritized the programs that were in the areas I wanted, with the plan of being in and out of each. There's like 200 exhibitors plus. So my plan was to be in and out of each booth quick. So if someone is busy, if the person that I think I want to talk to is busy, I'm going to talk to somebody else. I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm interested in. Can you connect me to whoever it is? Oh, this is the person. So if I got to wait, I'm going to wait. Or I'm going to cross over to the next booth and keep my eye back and be looking. Because the reality is you got 3 days. The exhibitor fair might be open for 2. There's a lot of people coming in, but they came to see you. So just know they're going to wait till they see you. But you got to kind of strategize a little bit. And so that's kind of how I went about the booth and like coming prepared, like Ron said. What's another thing you got written down there?
And then also kind of also look ahead, because a lot of, like you said, so they're recruiters. The amazing part about it is that they're coming for you, right? Like they want you to come to their program or, whatnot. And so something that you can do beforehand, which is kind of cool, is that SNMA provides a kind of like a booklet of different programs and people who are going to be there. So you can kind of like scan through, see who you want to talk to, see who you want to kind of meet. So it's funny because it's 3 days, but it goes by super fast.
Yeah. And
you don't realize it until the end of it. Like, man, I wish I would have talked to so and so.
Yeah.
So kind of for me, that was kind of the thing that I learned over time. That okay, hey, I want to talk to X, Y, and Z people, and at least get them out the way. That way, if I lose out on time, I can at least make sure I say that, hey, I met those people and got their information or whatnot.
Yeah.
So looking at it ahead and seeing, okay, this is what I want to do each day, because again, the time is long but also short.
Yeah. No, that's real. So that was a really good pro tips on like what to do. What should folks not do? What are some don'ts?
So some of the don'ts that you should not do during AMEC. I would say, because you're going to meet so many people, and there are so many people as members and recruiters, there's a lot of faces that are being seen, right? So it's hard to keep up with everybody that you meet. And it's important to, as soon as you get their information, don't lose contact. So that means reach out to them as soon as possible at an appropriate time, and then keeping in touch with them, because they are going to have some people that they are in contact with, that you don't want to be lost in the all the rest of the people. So that's probably one of the biggest things that someone told me, and then I also passed that on to people. So Don't lose contact.
Don't lose contact. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I think my other thing is that at SNMA, we work hard and we play hard. There are events to go out to every night. Every night. Even as a board member, we be outside every night. Do not go so hard that you miss your morning session, because that's all you. So if you need to stock your room with water, Gatorade, whatever, or abstain from certain things, stop drinking after a certain time. Don't go to this event if you know that the number one speaker you wanted to meet is talking at 8 o'clock across the convention center. Don't go too hard so you don't miss your opportunity.
That's perfect. Yeah, so just kind of recap over everything. AMEC is a amazing experience, amazing time, meet great people. You get a chance to, recruit and get recruited. And I think the thing for me is that when I leave AMEC, every time I go, I feel energized. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like, what's next? Like what do I need to do to get to where I want to go? Yeah. And that's the beauty of it, because you feel so empowered. You feel so motivated that you just want to find new ways to be better and to achieve your goals. So so I hope that this video was helpful for anybody who's watching. Again, we are huge advocates for going to AMEC. I love it. I go almost every year if I can. And of course, I was saying that you can do and learn so much. And for her, it was something that she wished she had early on. But now that she's in it, it's a part of her life and part of what she does. So
yeah, I'm a lifetime member. I mean, I was national president as well, but I am a lifetime member, paid, done. Because this organization truly changed my life, gave me the opportunity to learn how to be a better leader, gave me an opportunity to run a national organization and a nonprofit at that while at med school, gave me the opportunity to meet other movers and shakers within the field of medicine who are now in residency, and my hype people across the country. So truly do what you got to do to make it to this conference. Again, it's Easter weekend every year. If you don't make it this year, I'm going to miss out on seeing you. But if you make it next year, I'm going to see you in Chicago. Okay? I'm going to see you in Chicago. But I hope that was helpful. If you have any other questions or have any other specific questions or things that you want advice on, just leave them in the comments. I'll try to get to them. If I don't, catch me on Instagram. I do respond to DMs if you're not being weird.
There you go.
Bye, y'all. See you at AMEC.
See ya.